My name's Jennifer Kirchner. I am a teacher here at St. Matthews. I teach middle school social studies, 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. I've been here for about 20 years. I did 14 years in 4th grade, and then I did 5th grade, and then I did the computer lab for a couple of years, and now I'm in middle school, so working my way up the grades. I started St. Matthews 21 years ago when my oldest went into 3-year-old preschool with Mrs. Llewellyn, and so I would drop him off every day. And the more, I was a government contractor at the time, so I was going to go into law enforcement of some type. My degree was in criminal justice, and every day I dropped him off. I loved the way the teachers were just talking, and I loved the way they interacted with Alex. And I went to all the different functions, and the Christmas party and the Halloween party and the Thanksgiving party, and I just really loved the rapport that they had with my child and the other children in the class. So the more I got to think about it, the more I was like, maybe I don't want to be in law enforcement, maybe I should be a teacher instead. So Alex got into the 4 pre-K program, and I just decided then, I talked to Mrs. White and I said, what do I need to do to become a teacher? So I talked to school, and I took a few classes, got my degree in education over the next summer, and then I started here that next year when he went into kindergarten. And then my youngest was born, and he started here as well. So one of the things I like about it really is the family environment, and all the teachers just really get along with everyone. There's a lot of camaraderie, and everyone's just always happy, and they're teaching, trying to teach the religious aspect of things and seeing how the kids grow up, and how shut up is a bad word, and just the small things that I really wanted to instill in my own children. Being able to be a part of a team that would instill that into everybody's child, that I was really on board for that. So watching both of my kids be able to go through the ranks here and graduate from St. Matthews really meant a lot to me. And now being able to do that with these children, I just had a couple of kids from my first year's class 20 years ago get married this weekend, so we still keep in touch with people. And it's just nice that it's through high school, they come back and talk to me at Carnival, they still email me, and I still have a really good relationship with people from 20 years ago. So it'll be nice to see their kids start coming up the ranks and being a part of that environment.
Hi, my name is Catherine Olivar. I am the technology teacher here at St. Matthews Catholic School. I had spent 12 years at a prior school, but I decided to have a change in my environment and decided to teach here at St. Matthews, which was closer to home. One thing that kept me here, which was 8 years ago when I started, is that I like the support system. We're like a family. That's one thing that's very important to me, making sure that there are people that will always be there when I need them. I also enjoy being a teacher rather than being an IT and being a technology teacher. I can only be a technology teacher, whereas there's a separate IT program. I love teaching. One thing I've always told my administrators, or anybody for that matter, is that I love to teach. It doesn't matter who I teach or what I teach. I will just love to teach. You can tell me to teach religion, I'll teach religion. And I have done that in the past. You can tell me to teach English, I'll teach English. If you need a PE teacher, I even teach PE. In this case, they've asked me to be the technology teacher, and I'll teach technology to anyone and everybody, whether you're 3-year-old to 103.
Hi, my name is Rick Pugsley. I'm a middle school math teacher at St. Matthew's School. This is the beginning of my 4th year here. I retired from the Navy after 22 years, then went and did some other stuff. And about 10 years ago, I found myself working in the shipyard in leadership development. And I worked with a fantastic group of folks. I mean, I loved them. There's folks in that group who've made the biggest impact in my life of anyone other than my family. I'd been there for about 2 or 3 years though, and I found myself sitting at my desk wondering, where am I supposed to be? This is not the place for me. It's not the place. So 2 or 3 years goes by, and we bring a new product in called the gaps. There are 3 gaps in our lives that prevent us from being happy and successful. The belief gap, what I believe to be true, and the gap between that and what is true. The time gap, this is what I say is important, this is where I spend my time and money. And the value gap. And so I had been teaching the product for like 2 years, and I sat at my desk one Friday morning, I said, oh my gosh, I have a gap in my life. I talk about how important education is and how important young people are, and I'm teaching in a shipyard to 55-year-old people. There's a gap. I'm not supposed to be here. I'm supposed to be somewhere else teaching math. So on that Friday afternoon, right before lunch, I went on the St. Matt's website. I hadn't been on the St. Matt's website since my kids had left the school. Mr. Goldberg had just posted an announcement for a middle school math teacher. Ms. McLaughlin wanted to go teach 4th grade. He had just posted it right before lunch. At lunch, I applied for the job, and that afternoon, he invited me in for an interview. I left work, came in an interview, and he immediately offered me a job. Of course, I had to say no, because I had to take into account providing for my family. He would email me on Monday, Tuesday, I would tell him no. Wednesday, I would say, I don't know. Thursday, he would email me. After a couple weeks, I said, quit bothering me. It's just a no-go. It's not going to happen. It just doesn't line up. 2 weeks goes by, and I get a phone call and said, would you come in one more time? I remember leaving my cubicle and going to ask Chiquita, my boss, would it be all right if I left early that day so I could come in to talk to Mr. Goldberg? And Chiquita goes, oh my gosh, what's going on with you? You're going to say yes. You look so happy. So I was happy. I knew that I would have to go home and face Judy and work through the change in what was about to happen in our family, but I knew it was the right thing. I drove to school, walked into the office. Mr. Goldberg says, come on back, let's have a chit chat. I said, we don't need to go back into your office. I'm coming to work for you. I said, I don't know how I'm gonna make it work, but there's no way I can close the door on God that many times. I mean, I had shut the door 15 times in a month. I left his office. I have never been as happy as I was that day. Never. It was like the whole world was out there for me. I went home, of course, and it took several months for Judy and I to figure out how it was all going to work. But I would tell you, this is the single best place I've ever worked. I work with the most fantastic people in the world. And I get to work with children that I absolutely adore. Now, there are bad days, but there are so many blessings in this school every single day. I can't imagine working anywhere else. I don't look for jobs anywhere else. I love working here, and I love working with our kids. I love working with our faculty and staff. This is the place to be. So thank you so much for your support. I look forward to seeing you in the hallway.
Hi, I'm Allie Thomas. I teach 1st grade, and I have been at St. Matthew's for the past 5 years. I'm actually an alumni here from St. Matthew's. I graduated in 2007, and I was here from kindergarten all the way through 8th grade. The reason why I chose to come back, actually, I promised myself I would never be going back to private school. It was not something that I wanted to do. It wasn't until I went and visited here again, and my fellow co-workers were like, come on, I want you to come see what it's like back at St. Matthew's. And of course, I was sucked right in, and it just felt like home again. And so I actually interviewed at many different places and got many different job offers. But when Mr. Goldberg asked me if I wanted to do 1st grade, I just knew that this was the place for me. And it's been the best choice for me. I've really learned the past 5 years, and just being back, especially going from online and then coming back in today and at the beginning of the school year, it's been very challenging, but I knew from the second that they said we're coming back in person that it was where we were meant to be. And every single day I'm just so happy because I get to see the kids, I get to interact with them, of course in a safe space, and we're just really enjoying being back here at St. Matthew's, and I wouldn't have any other place I want to work.